ऑनलाइन सेमिनार है तो सर ये इंग्लिश और हिंदी में हो सकता है?
एक्चुअली ये स्टडी सर्कल है भैया, ठीक है, ये स्टडी सर्कल है, इट इज नॉट ए सेमिनार, इट इज स्टडी सर्कल. ओके, our speaker is Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh. He is esteemed librarian of IIM Kolkata. Okay, so it will be it will be on English. Okay,
thank you.
Media exposition is English.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Universal Briefing, I welcome you all to the 53rd Study Circle. As we begin today's discussion, I extend my heartfelt welcome to Professor Udayan Bhattacharya, the President of Universal Briefing. We are grateful for his continuous guidance and encouragement. I also extend a warm welcome to Dr. Obhik Roy, the Chairman, and Mr. Obhijit Noshkar, the convener of this study circle. Their constant coordination and support have been instrumental in the successful conduct of this program. Today, we are privileged to have with us two veterans from the field of library and information science. Our esteemed speaker for the session is Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh, Librarian, IIM Calcutta. And our honorable president for the session is Dr. Shantanu Ganguly, Director, Library Operations, HDFC Library, Ashoka University. I sincerely and respectfully welcome both of them to this session. Today's topic, designing a conversational search system for reference service using open source RAG and LLM, a case study of IIM Calcutta Library, is highly relevant and an emerging area in the field of LIS. The discussion will offer valuable insights into the application of open source AI technologies, such as retrieval augmented generation and large language models, in enhancing modern reference service. I encourage all participants to actively engage in the session and make the most of this learning opportunity. Participants may post their questions in the YouTube chat, the Google Meet chat, or raise them directly after the speaker's presentation. Now, I would like to invite our anchor for today's session, Ms. Supriti Dash, a promising young professional currently serving as librarian at Horipur Shravani Pathagar, Hooghly. I request our anchor to continue with the session.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good evening to everyone. We are now going to our 53rd study cycle of Universal Briefing. This session will be presided by Shantanu Ganguly, Director of University. Our speaker for today's Chandra Ghosh, Library, IIM Calcutta. I now take a moment to introduce the president for today's session. Dr. Shantanu is a distinguished academic and library professional in management, healthcare management, and information services. He completed his Masters of Library Science with specialization in Library and Information Science, followed by an MBA in Marketing and an MSc in Environmental Sciences. In 2010, he earned his PhD in Information Service Marketing and was later awarded a D.Litt in Knowledge Management from Thames International University, Paris. Dr. Ganguly has served in several prestigious
Supriti, I think you leave my biodata. It is not required. I think let me introduce. I think more we should learn from Professor N.C. Ghosh, because that's most important. Let me introduce Professor N.C. Ghosh. That's better.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now this is over to you,
I think there is a problem with your connectivity also. Let me work on that. Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Udanda. Thank you, everybody, for once again inviting me to chair a session, a subject which is very core to my heart. And in fact, I have a very small presentations on reference 5.0, but that I will not present unless and until there is a time for it. But what I would like to introduce you to a person who's a very versatile. The topic has already been elaborated by Jaya. I don't want to repeat on that, but just quickly as a reference, I want to talk about Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh, because he's a professional incumbent, a distinguished library information science professional who is currently serving as the librarian of the BC Roy Memorial Library at IIM Calcutta. And he has played a very significant role in strengthening the academic library services, digital knowledge management, scholar communications, research support services, and also technology-enabled library transformations. He's working in one of the premier management institutions. Generally, we mark it as A, B, and C. So he's the C, that is the IIM Calcutta. He joined in 2019, and since then he has done an incredible work towards research visibility, user-centric services, and adoptions of the new technologies, or especially the emerging technologies like AI and all. He has done an incredible work and all. Some of his major achievements is that when I go through it and I find that he has done an incredible modernization of the BC Roy Memorial Library. He's also developed the institutional repository of IIMC, which is, and also he has played a very pragmatic role in leadership digital transformation, like digital library services, discovery platforms, library automations, library management services, and all. And currently, he's contributing a lot towards AI and emerging technologies in the libraries. In one of his, USP program, I always appreciate, that is data carpentry, artificial intelligence and machine learning for the libraries, research support technologies and all, and academic information management. Uh, he has received several recognitions from the professional community and all. So in a nutshell, I would say Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh represents a very new generation of library leaders who view the academic libraries not merely as a repository of information, but as a digital knowledge ecosystem supporting the research, the innovation, the learning, and the scholarly excellence. He is not only a knowledge architect, but he is a strategist also in this area. So without further ado, I would request Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh to take the sessions. NC is all yours. Narayan, it is all
Narayan,
yours.
mic open for Narayan.
Yeah, am I now
Okay,
audible?
right.
Yeah.
Sure.
So before sharing my PPT, I must thank Universal Briefing and Professor Udayan Bhattacharya and the other young professionals like Jaya, Supriti, and all. And of course, the session president, I respect him a lot, Dr. Shantanu Ganguly. He is the library director of HDFC Library, Ashoka University, and he has a lot of engagements in different capacities throughout the country, in different forums, different committees, and different activities. And you all know that he is an excellent orator, and I always enjoy his lecture. So today, what will I do? I will cut short. In fact, I was prepared in that way only to share with you my ideas. Nothing great I'm doing, and we are working on that. 100% we are not successful yet, but still we are trying to implement that kind of emerging technologies in our services. And as you know, that Dr. Shantanu Ganguly also, doing excellent job. And I will request Dr. Ganguly to share, the PPTs or his presentation, of course, after me, so that all the participants will be enriched just by listening to you. Thank you, sir, once again for your nice introduction, and Universal Briefing for giving me this opportunity to share my views with you. Basically, just allow me to share the PPT, and I am stopping my video because there will be a bandwidth issue. So I'm stopping it. Am I audible?
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. This is, something, a new project which has been undertaken in BC Roy Memorial Library. And we are trying to implement it with the help of my team, some of my young library assistants. They are very enthusiastic, they are very tech savvy. And frankly speaking, all of them are helping me out to design this kind of services. And I'm really crazy to implement it and help the users as an new service, new addition to the services in BC Memorial Library. What is all about? As you know that I'm not going back and discussing about the AI, ML, NLP and all those things because you all are aware about all those terminologies, all those functionalities. And moreover, the AI technologies, the LLMs, these are used across the disciplines, across the domain, from different industries, from manufacturing to servicing, to the financial technology, fintech area, to many more. One area is medical science, of course, robotic surgeries, and all those things now being implemented. So if you just compare, then you will find that we are far behind applying the new technologies like AI and ML in our area like Librarian Information Science. I was just going through some of the literatures and some of the the different instances what has been implemented in the developed countries like USA or Europe. What I observed that many good libraries, many university libraries, academic libraries, they have already implemented the AIML technology for different purposes where we are not yet been able to successfully implement it in our country. Though even in my case also, this is in very beginning stage we are working. What is all about? As you know that for any library, if you just think it, one is the infrastructure, second one is the resources, and third one, of course, the services for what we are known to. If you fail to provide the services, even after having the huge collection, we always try to claim that we are having 2.5 lakhs of documents, 5 lakhs of documents, maybe 3 lakhs of documents like that to justify that how big we are. But things are now changed. You will be judged by only your services, what you are offering to your user. How quickly you are offering that services, how efficiently you are offering the services, how much your users are happy or satisfied after getting that services, how much you are helpful to your budding researchers, maybe your faculty members for different purposes. That's the only yardstick. Today you will be judged, how far you are active or what kind of services you are providing from your library. So here, just by going through the title, as you know that we are trying to design an AI-enabled information retrieval system for a reference service. As you know that since the beginning of our journey, as library information science professionals, reference service is the ultimate, what I understand. Because you see, reference service is something where we always interacted with the users directly. So over the time, what happened? If you just go back to the history, the library was not in that stage today what we are getting it. Even if we divide it, the post-web era and pre-web era, like that, you will find that the post-web era, when we have got a high bandwidth of internet technology, internet accessibility, the computing facility all around, not only in our field, everywhere in the society, in our daily life, even in fact, the handheld device, what we are having each and everybody in our hand, at least a smartphone with internet connectivity is good enough to provide the services or even getting the services. What kind of infrastructure now ready for us, we can Imagine it. We are experiencing the other day by day. Now the thing is that, are we really, competent enough to take a decision and forget about all those things, the ICT, forget about the resources, forget about all other things. Only we are competent enough, to provide that kind of user satisfaction today, what users are looking for. Sometimes you will see that the people or the authority mostly, they used to ask, what is the footfall? What's the need of the library? अरे कोई तो आता ही नहीं है आपका department में. क्या जरूरत है? We have been, listening it since long. Now the thing is that it's not measured by only the footfall. Today, the services should be, reached or should be accessed by the user from anytime, anywhere. This is the kind of scenario we are working with. Now, if you just have a look, and if I talk about IIM Calcutta Library or any good management institutes, you will find that there are plenty of resources, and mostly 90% of the resources are available in electronic format only. All the databases are in electronic medium, availability of all the databases. The people now immediately they want to get data for, from NSE Cogensys database, say for example, or maybe Bloomberg, maybe Workspace. There are a lot of financial databases, and they want to get plenty of data immediately to download and analyze and get the inferences drawn from there. They will present it in their assignment or their project immediately. So that kind of environment should be provided so that he or she can get access to the data in the middle of the night when we are sleeping. Now the question is, sometimes, we are not available in the library for giving the reference services. So earlier, what was the scenario? The scenario was some people will be available there in the library as reference librarian, though that kind of designation we never had in our country. We are the librarian, deputy librarian, assistant librarian, library assistant, this kind of nomenclature we used to follow. But in the Western countries, this kind of, these are very prestigious positions, reference librarian. Anyway, so what we observe in our case, that till 24/7 we are open, but till 10 o'clock, some library assistants are there in reference services desks. Beyond that, nobody is there. Now, if the library is open, so it is obvious that students are coming throughout the night, and they may need many informations, maybe at 3 o'clock in night, and nobody is there to provide them. So what would be the solution? So initially we thought that FAQ is good enough to provide that kind of support from the library website. But we proved wrong. And at the midnight, they send us the email, though they know that only next day in the morning only they will get the answer, even though we used to receive that kind of emails. Now, in this presentation roadmap, what I have thought that the problem context and AI revolution, as I said, that what are the problems we are facing? Now we want a kind of, the reference services where the AI will work in the backend, and in the in the website itself, we will embed the AI-enabled chatbot so that the users can ask any questions in natural language, and they can get the answer immediately in hand, right? Second, part 2 is for the LLMs, large language models, and RAG. You know very well that retrieval augmented generation for deep dive, for deep learning, and accurate retrieval. That option we'll explore in the backend. LLM will work there. So this is part 2. And third is, it's a case study. As a case study, we have taken some of the resources out of 65 databases we have been subscribing. So initially, we have started this project with only 12 databases. And we have found the results. We put there the prompt, different prompt. We asked several questions, and we tested it. How far we are getting the results accurately. Because if it doesn't give the accurate results, then no meaning of this kind of project implementation. So what is the paradigm shift? As I was, saying sometimes back, that we are controlled mostly by the publishers. You see, today we are thinking of implementing this kind of AI facilities or AI chatbot, to give the reference kind of services. Whereas out of these 60, 65 databases, what we have been subscribing in our library, almost 90% of them, they have already implemented that AI kind of search solutions of that particular product or services. Interestingly, we have the subscription to Scopus, just for sake of mentioning one example. And all of you might have gone through that, because if I talk about Bloomberg, you might have not seen that kind of database, but Scopus you have seen. And if you just have a look, they have added one new module that is called Scopus AI. And I'm sure you have seen that. Now you don't have to go for simple search, advanced search, or to prepare a search string to refine your results or to retrieve the results accurately. You can ask the AI module, and in NLP, natural language, you can ask any questions. I want, the publication details on application of AI in libraries from 2020 to 25. Maybe if you specify the country, maybe India. Now you need not to go for any kind of searches. Scopus will give you the results what you have asked for. So this is the kind of support the databases are providing. Now the question is, you can ask me, why then you are wasting your time, and at the same time your team is working on that? Why you are spending your valuable time? You could have done some other work. Now the question is, those are the segregated, identified, identical product. They have their different publishers are different. We have been subscribing. One AI module is embedded there, established there. You can use it. But there are 2 points. One is, when I am accessing it, I want to get some of the resources are, some portion are overlapping. Say, for example, for financial data, if I want to get from different companies, maybe registered or unregistered companies, you will find that there are so many resources available who will provide that support to you. But if you go in deep, then you will find some of the resources will give you that result, but a few are unable to give that. So some of the resources, as we are dealing with management studies, management science, some of the resources are overlapping, of course. But a single platform is not available where all the resources will be available and they will be, give the result. They will search from single search or search solutions, or some kind of single search portal will give me that facilities to access from different resources what we have been subscribed. Now the question is, you can ask me then, what about the discovery services? Yes, of course, you are right. We have the EBSCO discovery services in the front end in our website itself for single window search solutions from different databases. But the interesting thing is that the EBSCO discovery service, it only works with the standard, metadata. They can search and they can follow the syntactic search facilities, not the semantic one. In fact, in any particular database, if you go in deep into that, you will find there are a lot of different sections, subsections, and further it is divided in different more sections. Thousands of different areas they are covering. So in that level, any discovery service, not only EBSCO, even Salmon or any Primo or any discovery service, they cannot go in that depth because the publisher will not allow, because it's handled by EBSCO and Bloomberg is Bloomberg, and some other resources are handling in their own way. They will not allow API fetching services to EBSCO discovery service. So now no option left out. The only option is up to that level, fine. Now for further level, you will find, the other product will come up and they will give you that services, just matter of time. In between, some services already been implemented, though it's not in my knowledge so far. So now in between, we are trying to develop that kind of services where we can fill that gap. Because when the resources are growing more, day by day, you will find there are new resources are coming up in the market. More complexity are coming up. And of course, the greater need for intelligence access is required to give that kind of precision in retrieval process. Now, what's the problem? Problem, if we just type a problem, if we think that earlier or the most of the discovery services are keyword-based search. So now how users are getting impacted out of that. So if you just have a look at the table, it's very clearly mentioned here. The keywords, whatever the metadata we have already or controlled vocabulary we have mentioned there. If I just deviate, when we are retrieving or trying to search it from there, then we won't get any results. Then even after having that resource with you, you are not able to deliver that services. And library impact, as I said, underutilization. Of course, the lakhs of rupees we are spending, and you will be surprised to know that IIM Calcutta is spending for the resources about 6.5 crore per year. So underutilization is really, it matters because it's the country's taxpayers' money. Now, as I said, the static FAQ also, it's not good enough. Fixed answer, no personalization, nothing else. And library impact, of course, the same kind of repeated or similar queries you are giving the answer. But other than that, if someone is asking questions, your FAQ is, not fit for that. User manual also, they had a limitation. And of course, the staff dependence. Now you tell me, including me, if anyone is sitting in user assistance desk and they're handling the entire resources, maybe 60, 65 of different databases, and someone is asking you a questions, kindly guide me, how can I get, the CSR data of the listed companies in India? So immediately it's very difficult for you, even maybe for me also, to know the answer or deliver that piece of answer to the user. Now, the hidden cost of traditional discovery system, you know it very well. Frequently spend substantial time navigating multiple databases. They are searching this one. Okay, fine, I'm not getting. So other one, and other one. Okay, keep on searching it. Finally, they found that it's not available anywhere. It may so happen. And in social science research, it's not any wet lab research like Dr. Ganguly, he's from science background and he did, I think, bioscience background, He might have did, wet lab experiments and all. So the chemical reagents, lab equipments and all those things are another part of their research. But in case of social science, only the literature, only the data. If you don't have access to data, you are helpless. You can't, do anything. You cannot progress further. So getting the literature, getting the data in hand on time, precise data, what they are looking for their research, it's very important. Next, libraries invest heavily in licensed digital resources. And if this is the kind of environment you have, even today also we are facing this problem, even after having the discovery services like EBSCO Discovery Service. We failed, to give the pinpointed or, the right kind of answers immediately to our user. So obviously, as I said, it's the question of ROI, return of investment. How much you are spending and, what is the return? What is the usage? Tell me at the end of the year when my authority will ask me the questions as a librarian, why you are proposing to renew these resources just by spending 25 lakhs of rupees? Only we found it's a kind of the utilization or the usage statistics is showing is very poor usage. You will have no answer. And of course, the young students, when they are coming to you or sending an email, okay, I'm doing this project or this assignment, please let me know which resources should I use. Then again, we have to go for further research where that particular information or data is available. After that, I'll be able to answer. So what we truly need in today's world, it should be contextual. Immediately what I'm asking for, in that context only we'll reply. Not hither and thither, you will make me move around. And I should not feel happy, of course, as a user. It should be very domain specific and, of course, reliable. There are plenty of data, plenty of resources, plenty of information available in Google, in fact. And always we are very happy to do Google for searching anything. And we keep on discussing also, But many occasions it's not trustworthy. So always go for the credible sources. Even after having your subscribed credible sources, you are not able to answer on right time. So now the question is, how can we leverage open source AI technologies to transform library reference services from reactive, keyword-based systems to proactive, conversational and context-aware information access? Friends, I'm sure that many of you have used different LLMs, maybe ChatGPT, maybe Perplexity, maybe Copilot, maybe Gemini, and many other, And you might have seen that you are asking a questions and immediately you are getting some answers. So our reference kind of services or that kind of environment we want to develop so that user at any point of time, they will be allowed to ask questions and get the answer. Of course, that should be depending on the subscribed databases, not the open source resources or any other resources. Right. Now, the AI is reshaping the academic information systems, in a large way. It can interpret in natural language queries semantically rather than relying only on exact keyword matching. If I have given in controlled vocabulary, I have given as a metadata the keyword or maybe a word which may have a lot of synonyms, and the content is using the synonym only in many occasions, then it will be untrue. We will not fetch that result. The system will not fetch that results. Okay. So transformer-based language models now allow retrieval system to synthesize contextual information. So what about the transformer-based language models? It's a kind of deep learning neural network, that process sequential data by analyzing all the elements simultaneously. So you can understand, what would be your, the retrieval. Then, of course, the RAG, it introduces the factual grounding by combining language generation, with verified institution and knowledge repository. Say, for example, I will discuss it later. There's the hallucination, this, term we are very much aware with. Now, the question is, this RAG, framework that will help you not only the factual grounding, not only by fetching the data from the LLM itself, it will allow, you to fetch the data from your own document. You have already, trained as input there. And that work we only doing so that you can avoid the hallucination part. Whatever the results you will get from there will be no hallucination. There will be nothing false. All will be credible. And you can rely on that. AI creates opportunity to transition from static search interface towards interactive one. You see how far your users will be happy when they can interact with your library and immediately get the results just by asking questions. Okay, this is the source, you can go through it. Now, what is the evolution of intelligent information retrieval system, what we are talking about? It's a keyword retrieval, mostly, those are all old concepts. You know it very well. That is Boolean operators, controlled vocabularies, index catalog, all those things we can only retrieve. Then semantic search, there also we have a lot of limitation. But generative AI, they have given us that, freedom, that, kind of facilities. We can adopt it to applying the RAG. In the backend, of course, LLM should be there. RAG is the in-between a framework, which will integrate with the LLM and give the, factual accuracy, transparency, and domain-specific relevance in the search results. So I'm not talking about this thing because I want to listen from Shantanu. So NLP, ML, GenAI, RAG, and all those things, you know it. I'm just skip this thing. Impact of reference service also, Now, the generative AI versus traditional retrieval, if you just think it, because, listening to it, if you don't bother about the philosophy, what is the background, what we had, and what we are trying to, otherwise you cannot enjoy, right? So in traditional search system, the query, then indexing lookup, then ranked results, user filters, and synthesis. Even in today's world also, if you go for the Scopus, again, I am giving that example, Scopus citation indexing database. If you just, search it, forget about the AI part, then of course, you will find there are a number of filters. You can filter out your results just putting different, filtering options. So in one go, you cannot get the results in hand. But in generative access or AI implementation, you are asking question in natural language, context retrieval, and you are getting the grounded responses, accurate results immediately in one go. So here, what is the, so capacities are there, of course, with LLM and RAG. Limitations also there. This is not the RAG limitation. This is LLM limitation. This is hallucinations. As I said, we can overcome this limitation when we are implementing, any AI chatbot or developing this kind of reference, conversational reference interface using RAG. So, so why it hallucinates? Because, the LLMs, day by day, they're getting trained. They're getting fed with different new kind of resources, new kind of information, new kind of data. So sometimes it's auto-aggressive in nature, and sometimes they have the misunderstanding also, So if they cannot understand, cannot, analyze your emotion, your tone, then of course, your prompt, then what happens normally, you see? When we are asking someone, even in reference desk, if you think about, our one-to-one interaction with the user and librarian, then sometimes in reference services, you try to understand the actual need, the context, that, which context the user is asking that, for what purposes. So naturally, you are thinking in the back of the mind that what should be the right source from where you will get that kind of information. The LLM also does it, but sometimes it's very auto-aggressive. Sometimes you will find that कुछ लोग ऐसे होते हैं, जो कभी अपना जो anger है वो बाहर express नहीं कर पाते for some reason, and they खुद को ही कभी अपना नाश काट लेते हैं, कभी सर पे मारते हैं, कभी खुद को खत्म कर देते हैं. So this kind of auto-aggressive nature, which sometimes you will find in LLM also. And that's why they don't say, I don't know. Many occasions you will find they give you some answer which may not be correct. So always you have to be very careful, because the LLM's answers, what they're giving you, that may not be correct always. The double check is required. Now, there is no built-in fact checking. No mechanism is there already built in that will check internally. Okay, fine. What answer I am giving, this is absolutely correct. No mechanism is there. And the training limitations also. Because there's a endless questions I may ask to the LLM. Because a lot of people are using, millions of people are using. And they have the curious mind. They have only developed this kind of computer, AI, neural network, and all those things, only made and developed by the human being. But sometimes, of course, machines, making our life simple, easy, but at the same time, we have to be careful, double-checked, because of their usage. If we use it in the wrong way, of course, it will create our life miserable. Otherwise, the whole repetitive kind of job done by machines, by robots, so easily, so comfortably, they have helped the human being a lot, which is developed by the human being again. So they have limitation and they hallucinate. So here, from retrieval to research assistance, how it will help you, the users manually search catalogs, databases, and predefined keyword, as I said, structured query syntax. But the conversational discovery AI system enables the user to express research need naturally through questions, tasks, and contextual descriptions. Now here, as I said in part 3, I will talk about prompt engineering. When you are developing this kind of conversational tool, there is one phenomenon is very important, which is prompt engineering. Okay. So now, in a simple way, if you try to understand the prompt, you might have used any LLM, and in the search box, I should not say search box, this is a prompt box. What we used to say, I want to know all about Dr. Shantanu Ganguly, the Director, Library Services, HDFC, Library, Ashoka University. You have given the prompt, and immediately you will find thinking kind of, some pop-up will come up. It's really thinking, and then you will find 1 or 2 pages write-up. So what is it? You are asking something. Simply, you can consider this is a prompt. You are giving a prompt. And the other way around, the prompt is working in the reverse way also. When you are training a system, when you are developing conversational, this kind of framework or AI chatbot, you have to give that kind of instructions, how it will respond. This is also considered as prompt. So prompt is very important in both way, when you are asking questions as a user point of view. At the same time, when you are developing that kind of AI tool or any AI chatbot or any that kind of services or conversational any services. Now, zero shot, few shot, system prompt. So what is zero shot? Which will give you which database contains GDP data for India. So when I train my conversational search system, I put zero shot prompt that it should give the answer in one word only, by the name only. Say, for example, if the name of the database is the India stat, only it will fetch the results India stat, nothing else. Okay, so it's like that. Now, here the framework for libraries, there is no actually framework. Prompt framework is designed for libraries. It's a standard one. What is it? One is, this is called TCE PFT, task, context, example, persona, format, and tone. So task is, it's very much understandable. We understand it. That's specific action. What we want to get it done. Context, always context is very important. Which context we are asking that. Example, and then persona. What would be the AI's role? Its role will be as a reference librarian, of course. or the senior librarian, or maybe a library assistant. So that kind of role should be defined first, so that it will think in that way only. I cannot expect, I can think at the same level what Dr. Ganguly or Professor Udan Bhattacharya can think. So persona is very important, and tone, that is the emotions, attitude, that should be very clearly identified. So I'm taking too much time, I think. So I'll now close down.
No, but NC, please carry on. Please carry on. It's very interesting. Please carry on, NC.
Here, as I was saying about the prompting best practices, what we should do and what we should not. So when we are training that kind of conversational tool, we should provide explicit, constraints. What are the constraints are there? The system should get trained. Otherwise, it cannot give us results. Say for example, if your child or my child, if they are not trained to, do a surgery as a medical practitioner in a OT, how can I expect that my son or my daughter can perform that role? So, that kind of training should be given. Some kind of examples, few short or any other kind of examples, as I said sometimes back, that should be given there to understand. When it will think, the AI tool will think, they will get some example. Okay, fine. अच्छा, अगर ऐसा सवाल किया जाएगा, तो इस तरह का जवाब देना है मुझे. So it should be trained in that way so that it will get some example also in hand and give the correct answer when we are or users is asking any questions. Okay. Now, sometimes, or some things we should clearly mention even, that is don'ts. Assume internal database knowledge. Leave hallucination checks implicit. Don't do that. Skip format specifications. Format specification is very important. We cannot skip it. Hallucination checks implicit, we cannot leave it. That should be inbuilt. Otherwise, again, our search system, this kind of conversational system will again hallucinate like any other LLMs. We just want to control that. There's a Koha software is available everywhere. All of us are using. You are using, I am using, and someone else in college, in public library, all are using. But when we are using for our library, it should be designed, it should be customized, not designed, it should be customized, it should be implemented, in such a way which is needed for my library. So always this kind of, development, we have to keep it in mind that we have to think, keeping in view all those requirements first. Now, PICO principles, I'm sure many of you know, that is in clinical research method, Of course, my president knows it. In clinical research method, what they do, because I also, have some association with biology laboratory, that is Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, for 14, 15 years. Anyway, so the population, the kind of people you are experimenting with, intervention, then what medication or what kind of, the arrangements, other than medication, if anything used, what used had already been used there. Now, comparison, what was the earlier status, and after medication or after using that kind of therapy, what is the result? And then outcome, final outcome. That means whether we can continue with that for further research, or what we are getting, which is useless, bogus, we should stop here. So this is called, very much used in clinical research. This is called PICO principles. In our case also, we have followed, the PICO model. Here the parameters, then indicators, context, and then output. Okay. Next, Evaluation, of course, is very important. The prompt quality, because the prompt quality, if it's not up to the mark, then it will never respond, never give you the results up to that level when the user will use it. Okay. Now, this is a kind of architecture. I'm not going in detail. We used here different type of RAG architecture also there, hybrid, graph. It's a timeline kind of thing. We are using the hybrid one. Okay. And this is the Ragas framework is for measuring, the success, the evaluation after implementing, how far this is successfully working or not. This kind of testing purposes, assessment purposes, it is used. Now, KB design, this is knowledge-based design. This is very important, when we are developing this kind of, conversational tool or conversational framework, then the knowledge base is very important. So what we have done, as a story, if I explain you, we have gone through 12 different databases one by one, and each and every databases we have gone up to the micro level, the deepest level of the database, and we identified what are the kind of information, what kind of data are available in that particular resource, and we pointed out, we documented it very categorically and very carefully for all the 12 resources, and then we train it. Right. Initially, we started with custom GPT, and then we found that there are some problems, and then we implemented this RAG framework, and then we are working with these 12 resources, and you won't believe it's working excellent. Okay, and both the things, semantic, that is vector, what should I say? The vector search, semantic search, it's working very well. And keyword search, of course, is there. Then the part 4 is Calcutta library implementation. Here, some theoretical aspects are there. I'm not talking about. This is, this is the 12 databases, out of which I have mentioned here 4, that is CMI, Economic Outlook, then India Stats, CEIC, this is macroeconomic data you will find, worldwide data. And then TRIAS also, it's Indian data and another Center for Monitoring Indian Economy product. So we analyzed those resources up to the deepest level. And then we have gone through the kind of query we used to receive from the students, from the faculty. Faculty number is very less because they know which resources they need to consult. And sometimes they depend on the research scholars also. So the research scholars primarily, and in some cases, the MBA students. We analyze all the queries we received, through email, and sometimes we noted down the over the desk. Sometimes, one-to-one, some queries we used to receive. We analyze those and prepare the prompt in that way. Then we design our, knowledge base, and we implemented that. And then finally, we experimented also. So here, the system architecture is, of course, the Python is there, LangChain. As you know, the LangChain is, the open source orchestration framework, for application development using LLM. So if you want to develop any kind of application where in the backend LLM is there, like any chatbot, like any AI agent. So this LangChain framework is necessary because it will give you that kind of environment, and it's available in Python or maybe JavaScript-based libraries. So LangChain, and then embedding. This is the version we are using. This is the embedding model. We are using this version, and LLM, of course, the open source one, Olama 3.3. Then this is the kind of, the prompt. Where can I access statistics on education, health infrastructure, and demographics for all Indian states? You see, the system is responding like this. You can access this on the India Stat platform. It provides state level data for expenditure, enrollment, and health indicators with regular updates. Okay. Then another question, I need access to area under the cultivation, yield, and weekly showing progress for forecasting. Which resource contains this? So the answer is, according to the CMI commodities database, it contains area, production, yield, and weekly updates on showing progress. Access is library.imcal.ac.in/CMI commodities. Now, so in conclusion, I can say it's we got the accurate results. RAG accurately answers the complex kind of questions and complex database queries. 100% we can rely that there is no hallucination. Of course, we tested number of occasions so far. No hallucination we found. Viability is, of course, a big challenge because, viability in the sense, the sustainability, because the infrastructure is very important. And for infrastructure, we are also suffering because that kind of support getting from an academic institute, sometimes it's very difficult. Right now, it's under experimentation phase, and we are working on it. We are enjoying it, and it's possible. That much I can say. So over the days, I'm sure that we'll be able to do kind of consortium where we can share our infrastructure as we used to do for negotiation, for collection development, resource sharing, and all those things. And I'm sure down the line, some of the big institute, they will develop their own infrastructure, or maybe, they will rent it out. And some cases we can, form consortium and we can use. So now we need to understand if RAG usage, changes research behavior over time. Does over-reliance on conversational AI reduce critical evaluation of primary sources? So of course, when you are moving ahead towards achieving something new, always there are, something you have to be very careful. Even after taking care, today we cannot stop our kids to use those kind of tools, those kind of facilities, because this is the need of the hour, and they will do that. And finally, if I am successful just by implementing it, I'm sure all of you will enjoy it, and hopefully, gradually, all of us will, move forward. Because see, the technology is such a thing, we cannot avoid it. So over the time in our education system, in every sectors, even our, the leaders, the policymakers, they are insisting, they are, encouraging us to implement AI so far possible in every sector of our life. And I'm sure one fine morning we'll find that kind of environment, but some sort of threat are also there, what we are facing. Some, hardcore computer companies, the software companies, many people losing their jobs. So that may be reality. But at the same time, I believe that some new areas will open up where people will go and get new jobs. Let's see. But we are very small fry. We have to carry it out. With this, thanks a lot to the organizers for their invitation, to my president and very close Dada, Dr. Ganguly, and all the participants of this today's study circle. I'm really grateful and very happy that you all listen to me. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ghosh. It was a brilliant exposition of the new venture which you are doing. And it is really a very important area. I'll give my final comments after we have the question answers. So quickly, I think one person has already written one question, that is it possible for you to show something live? Is it possible? NC?
Yeah, that is possible, but that kind of, server is not with me because it's working. We are working in a local server.
Yeah.
It's in my office only. But the custom GPT, what we have developed already, this is in Chat GPT only. That I can show if anyone interested. So I can
probably you can show them how it works.
Yeah. Okay.
Abhi, would you like to ask anything to NC? Please. By the time he, puts together the custom one, so you can have your question.
Yeah, thank you, sir, Dr. Ganguly, sir. And first of all, it's a compliment to Dr. NC Ghosh, because your voice is very radiophonic, sir. Whenever you speak, it keeps. We feel that you should keep on speaking. It's a very fantastic voice you have.
Yeah, because he is a great singer, and that's why you can see that in every session when he speaks about rag, he has also created the ragas framework, so he knows what is the sound, what is meant by song.
I agree, sir. There is no doubt. Yeah, definitely. So one thing I just want to ask you, because as you see that we are surrounded by a plenty and huge information chunk, we should say. You have already inserted to your databases, as have resources you have mentioned. So don't you think that the reference service should be personalized information service, as Samuel Greene has once put? So what is your opinion regarding this, that your open source LLM or whatever the technology you are using, it should have something for personalized information services, because it will minimize the process capacity or the attention process capacity of the users. So what's your opinion regarding this, by using this open source software? It's a beautiful thing that you are using open source software. Your opinion, sir, please.
Yeah, thank you. It's a good question. And of course, it's possible, but not yet experimented. Personalized service as well as domain-specific service also. Okay. So those services, it's in pipeline. I mean, we are thinking of it. But the kind of infrastructure what we need, it's not available with us. So when we are thinking about, the whole resources, what we have been subscribing in our library, and analyzing those resources, the kind of manpower involvement is required, kind of analysis we need, kind of time, and the kind of support we require, that is not available at this moment. But personalized service and domain-specific service, that kind of reference services is very much possible.
But Dr. Ghosh, when I think that's a very important question you have raised. When you are talking about infrastructure requirement, what kind of infrastructure actually you are looking at? What was can you give us some benchmark ideas of that, what you are exactly looking for?
Yeah, the thing is that you need to have, one is the Llama we have been using as open source software, LLM, not software, open source LLM, Llama. And this is when you are downloading it in your system as a local system like Koha, that will work fine. But at the same time, the capacity of your server, the local server, should be huge in that way. Okay. And so that it can have that amount of data and information in the backend to avoid the hallucination and all, if you allow it to fetch the data, because API access will not be given by the commercial organizations. Try to understand it. And you cannot give these services to the outside world because the publisher immediately will stop that and ask you questions because you are not allowed to give that information to outside world. If you are subscribing, it's purely when you are signing the license agreement, it should be restricted to your user only. So that way, your local infrastructure should be, up to that standard, up to that capacity. It can hold that amount of data in the backend, maybe, not only the data in the form of the textual form, it may be video, it may be audio, it may be, any other file format also, which may require a lot of space and RAM capacity also to analyze in a faster mode. The millions of data, maybe the lakhs of company data for several years, different aspects, different fields. So
it
that
will be an
kind of
IPR issue. It will be a lot of IPR issue will be involved.
Yes,
in it.
That should be there. That should be there heavily.
Still, that's a very important thing which he has mentioned that, see, the technology is there, the platform is there, it is a layer above it, but it is going to be backed by the entire resource, the data which is there. Now, the data is all, the entire data is the bread and butter of the
Dr. Ganguly, you are not the owner of that data.
Yes.
You have subscribed it, but you
are not the owner of the data.
Yes. Yeah. So you cannot
it's
give
an
the
IPR
access
issue.
to anybody.
It's a very big IPR issue.
And at the same time, infrastructure support also.
But Dr. Ghosh, tell us one thing. I'm sorry, I'm asking this question once again. When you have a proof technology in place with an open source platform, can this platform be replicated by others? See, your content is very different from the content which we subscribe. But the platform can it be shared? That platform can be shared, and I put that particular technology above my platform, above the database which I am subscribing.
No, sir. The thing is that it's a kind of DSpace implementation, if you consider, right? Okay. So DSpace is available. You can download it. Only the matter of customization, and it's the implementation for your organization and mapping with the public IP of your organization, and it's your thing. So at the same time, the technology behind it is same. The skill development. Say for example, I am using DSpace, you are using DSpace. So the installation and the customization skill, if you have, you can implement it anywhere. So the basic thing is the kind of training we need, the skill development only.
Yes.
How to do that? That know-how, if it's known to stay to your organization, you can do it. If it's known to ABC, everybody can do it because the infrastructure we are getting from open source.
So I think probably you should conduct a training program on this, that how to create that, so that we can bring in the technology for our system.
Sir, we have already announced, and this part of this is there. That is data carpentry and AIML tools in libraries.
Yeah, I know your workshop is coming up.
20 to 23rd, we have already announced, and I will invite all of you. If you can join, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
and one of the great resource person, Professor Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyay, who is the master in this area. I am nobody. Okay, I am only assisting him. And, he is the main resource person. He'll be there for 4 days.
Yeah.
And the screen is visible. Someone asked to see the chat GPT, how it works.
Can you share it?
Acha, it's not visible, right?
No.
Just a moment, sir.
There is an up arrow key. You have to just click that.
Yeah.
There is an up arrow key.
I'm trying to share the screen, entire screen. Okay, let's see.
You just click that up arrow key, select the entire screen. Yeah.
Are you getting?
No, it is not.
Now it's visible?
Now it is coming, yeah.
Okay. You see, I have asked one question here. Please let me know the financial databases subscribed by the BC Roy Library, IIM Calcutta. Okay. You see, this is the list. So now I am asking, please show it in tabular form of maybe tabular format. Let's see what results I am getting.
So this is a custom chat GPT.
Yes, this is custom. You see, immediately I am getting in a table.
Yeah.
These are the resources I have been using. I mean, I have been subscribing financial resources only in my life. So this kind of, it's a, maybe I enjoy it as a game, Okay, fine. How it is working. I'm putting the data, I'm feeding it, I'm training, these are the resources I am having. So now if you go in depth, if you ask further questions, I want to get these data, this kind of data, which resources should I consult? It will give you the results.
Yes,
but
I've seen it in when Dr. Sukhdev Singh was also did the same thing with, he has customized his Sukhdev catalog. So where the chat GPT customized gives you the DDC number automatically. So you don't need to go through the DDC, flip through the pages. Automatically you get the DDC number of that. He has already that. Any other questions from the participants? Any other questions? Please quickly, if you can, before we wrap up.
Sir, now I want your presentation. No, I'm waiting for that.
I think there is not sufficient time. Maybe some other time we'll make the presentation. But yes, Mr. Manoj Shioran. Mr. Manoj Shioran? Yeah, please put on. Yeah, please ask the question to Dr. Ghosh.
My question is, sir, when I will make a custom GPT, is there any requirement for rendering the data for answering that?
Your voice is breaking, Manoj.
Manoj, we can't hear you exactly what you said. Or it is better that see, I think it is better you write down the question in the chat box. Please write the question in the chat box. I will request each of you. There is always a bandwidth problem. Please write the question in the chat box.
Okay.
That's a different. Please write the question in the chat box. This is the Tirtharaj Dasgupta is talking. Is a very informative workshop at Literacy. Yeah. Sir, prompt engineering must be included as a part of the future information literacy trainings. What is your opinion on this? Yes.
Yes, of course, Tirtharaj. Prompt engineering is very important.
It's a very important area. Yes.
Very important area for doing this kind of job. Yeah. And Tirtharaj, do you know Dr. Ganguly? Tirtharaj is a very promising researcher in this area.
Oh.
He is doing very well. Yes.
Is he from IIM Calcutta?
No. He is from Kalani University and doing the PhD under
because I could see in your presentation all the University of Kolani's breeds are here.
Professor Mukhopadhyay is
PSM Mukhopadhyay is really producing very good candidates. I'm already Orpita, Pritika, they are all here. I know. Yes, Avik, yes. Dr. Ghosh, can you stop sharing?
Yes.
Yeah, Avik, please carry on.
Actually, it's undoubtedly we can say that your demonstration and your work is very motivational for our future researchers, because while I was watching your presentation, I was thinking something that quantum information retrieval, though it is not a very prolific one right now, but quantum information retrieval has a very important part like semantic space. And while I was discussing with my students in this area, and RAG has a very important issue regarding this semantic space, because whatever the hallucination you are talking about, if we can have more researchers from this field like semantic space and entanglement kind of thing, I think this hallucination or your work would be much better backed by all these researches. That's my observation as I was watching your.
Thank you, Avik.
So many researchers are there. So if they want to take this part, you have very promising area over this.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Avik. That's a very good thing. Yep. So, Mr. Manoj, can you Mr. Mano, yeah. So when we make any custom GPT for any library, is there any requirement to rendering data and resources of that library to answer the user questions?
So otherwise, how can the system will answer? You have to train it, give all the information in the backend. You have to, ingest all the details. Then only when someone will ask, ask librarian, if there is no data you fed in the backend, then you won't get any answer, because
Yes.
machine cannot say of its own. What we are talking about today, the AI, LLM and all, what they are giving you answer, these are all they have in their bag. From there only they are putting it out. They are thinking logically and they are giving you the answer. The thing is that if you just remove it from them, if your brain is empty, then you are also a dumb box. You cannot answer anything. So this is the same thing, in custom GPT also. You have to, give that information, then only you can get something.
In what form we require data to be rendering?
In document, what format you can prepare a document and you can upload it. No issue.
Yeah. I think you have already shown in your presentation is the PDF.
Manoj, if you are interested, you may join our workshop, and really I'm telling you, you will enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a very good workshop, because I know one of my colleague, Mr. Sadbir, who has joined now in IIT Delhi, he has taken a training. He was there with you for this particular work, and he started working on this area. It's really a very good workshop. It's a very unique one. I know. Any other questions? I am from Gujarat Biotechnology University, Gandhinagar. Yes, so still, Manoj, you can join. There's in that particular workshop, people are coming from across India. Anybody?
You are welcome, Manoj. You are welcome.
Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Dr. Ghosh, you are getting my voice?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, the example you have shown, that is one kind of personalized reference service. Example. That way, the Shantanu was asking, how can you provide a particular person different type of reference services by information services? The example you have shown about from your database, that is one kind of personalized service that someone can render. Actually, in our university, we are practicing so many digital reference sources. They are accessing the digital reference sources. Actually, this is one of the project funded by University Grants Commission. So we developed thousands of tools. Almost of them are free of cost. Some of them definitely by the subscribe by the university. But these are all authenticated evaluated source. So we need to have provided the reference information services from the authenticated evaluated services. All the information are checked. And when I am giving a service to a particular person, he may not rely on me, but he or she will rely on that particular document. When he shows that it is coming from a particular document, he or she can rely on it. That is the kind of reference service we should provide to make him understand, make them rely, pursue that, yes, we are providing reference or information services from a particular reference source, that is authentic reference sources, not simply from the Google platform. That I wanted to add. And about the personalized services, your example is sufficient enough that we can provide man-to-man services, persons with different kind of needs. Okay, that is my addition. That's it. Hello, are you getting my voice? No.
Yeah, Udanda. Yeah, we got it. We got it.
That is my addition.
Okay, I think there is one more question. Probably I'll take this as a last question. Is one custom GPT work on different platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity, etc.? I did it in ChatGPT only. Okay. So Manusharan has already tried with ChatGPT. NC, can you please unmute yourself?
I only answered. I did it in ChatGPT, but thing is that they are different platform, they are different product. And I don't think one custom GPT, if you develop using Chat GPT, that will not work with Gemini or Perplexity quite naturally, because they are different product. So, when you are developing custom GPT with Gemini, it may not work with, Chat GPT or maybe Perplexity. But I never tested it, whether the entire DB base, the knowledge base, I can shift from one LLM to another LLM. Whether I can do that or not, I never tested it. I will try.
Right. Okay. So should I wrap up then, Udanda?
I think it is almost 9.
Yeah.
It is almost 9. So 1.5 hours we're on the air. Okay. So it is the right time to close the session. But we are. How much time you will take to present your presentation?
No, Udanda, I'm relieving the participants. I'm not making any presentation. I'll just quickly wrap up what Dr. Ghosh has talked about.
Yes.
Do that only. Maybe the presentation some other time. Basically, I started working on a new area called Reference Management 5.0. Basically, I look at it from a different angle completely, where it is almost like what Dr. Ghosh has mentioned, towards more personalized informations for my fraternity. I have already started working on it. And there is a lot of AI implementation is taking place. It is in a progress. We are doing a lot of permutation combinations of various platforms. And still it is in an experimental stage, but someday, somewhere we will be coming up. But what I could see from the reference 5.0, which I refer to that as, it has got 8 layers I looked at. So there are 8 layers, which I was trying to showcase, that there are 8 layers, and for the 8 layers, the different components are there, and it has got a different responsiveness for that. And like it has also tried to look at it, the AR, VR applications of the augmented reality, virtual reality, multimedia mixing, all those areas also it will try to look at it. So that is the major area where basically. So thank you, Dr. Ghosh, for making this presentation absolutely a brilliant one. And I completely agree, because we are in a service industry, and in the service industry, our users or our stakeholders are the main core area. That is from where your entire talk journey was started. And yes, there is a paradigm shift is taking place now in the reference services itself. And as you mentioned that in the healthcare sector, let me give you an example. In the healthcare sector, for example, when I was in All India Institute of Medical Sciences, I used to work on a platform called CDSS, which is called a Clinical Decision Support System, which is a completely an AI-driven model. I work very closely with Clarivets and all. Like, for example, like there is a disease called xeroderma pigmentosum, where a particular patient is suffering from what is called as a xeroderma, that is the skin cancer. So a kind of the doctor prescribe him a particular medicine, but that medicine can have a different effect also. So this particular platform gives you the other alternatives, that which are the other alternative medicines can be prescribed if the patient is having such problems with X particular problem. So that's a very, very important area. I worked very closely with the doctors on that platform development. Well, it is extremely important from your talk that right information to the right user at the right time and with the right format. So it is evolving day by day, and that is what basically is current context, which is very important. And you are very right that we are intent, because since we work in the service industry, so we want, how do we provide the services beyond time? That's a very, very important area. You also shown a very interesting examples of there is a paradigm shift, and how digitization and digitalization and digital transformation is a kind of a tsunami today in the entire research and academic world, how it is flowing in that. I also looked, I was very completely flabbergasted after listening to your talk on a particular aspect, is that how do we meet the gaps? How do we meet the gaps of our aspirants, our users, our stakeholders? So one hand, we are sitting on the hub of knowledge base, which you call a vast amount of resources there. And on the other hand, there is a vast amount, the users are there. How do we bridge that? In fact, I started working on a similar kind of a thing on a query modeling on SLA, which is called a service level assessment SLA model. I started working on that. But one thing which I would like to highlight here is, which is also is a part of your talk itself, that it also reminds me how the UQual method has come up, that universal quality assessment method, which was done by the Association of Research Library, where they have defined the 5 gap models by the LibQual methods, the social qual methods, the DigiQual methods. All those methods were described. It is in a very, very interesting area. So that's a very important. But one of the important challenge which we are facing as a in Ashoka University is the multidisciplinarity, where one particular subject is now connected with multiple subjects. So what kind of platforms or LLMs we will develop, or kind of a layer should be created when a multidisciplinarity research work or a teaching comes into the picture. So that's where your 2 points I have taken, which is very noted down. In fact, I have covered almost 3 pages now from your talk. One is contextual, the second is domain specific. Yeah, that's a very, very important area. And we need to, this particular thing is a very important area we should look at. And we are also trying to look at it from a static point of view, a static responsive model towards a more interactive model, like coming up with chatbots or virtual assistants, those things. I also liked your very interesting presentation. Probably sometimes I would like to know more about your the concept of hallucination, the concept of prompt engineering, and especially the very interesting framework which you talked about is TCEPFT framework, which is a very, very interesting framework. First time I read about this, and obviously being a very elucidated, very elite class of singers, you also talked about the ragas framework with your 12 resources and all, and I really liked that. And also some of the important query analysis and the prompting the best practices. These are some of the major areas, and this is what is, I would call it as a takeaway for me as well as for all my participants who are present here. So thank you very much, Dr. Ghosh, listening to this beautiful presentations on this AI applications in IIM Calcutta Library. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, over to the Jaya.
Jaya.
Now, before we move on to the vote of thanks, I would like to make the announcement for the next study circle, which will take place on 27th June, 7:30 p.m. The esteemed speaker for that session will be Dr. Samir Kumar Jalal, Deputy Librarian, IIT Kharagpur, and the Honorable President for that session will be Professor Durga Shankar Rath, Professor, Department of Library and Information Science, Vidyasagar University. The program facilitator will be Dr. Pranmi Porel, Librarian, Ravindra Mahavidyalaya, Chapadanga, and the anchor will be Shreya Thakur, Librarian, Ogroni Juva Sangstha Sadharan Pathagar. Now I request our anchor to give the vote of thanks and conclude the session.
Yes, the formal vote of thanks. First, I will thank all participants.
Supriti, your voice is cracking. Your voice is cracking. Your voice is cracking. A bit clear. Okay. Okay, carry on. No issue, carry on.
Okay. Express my sincere gratitude to Professor Bhattacharya, the Director of Universal Briefing, for his constant and generous support. I extend a special vote of thanks to the President of today's session, Dr. Shantanu Ganguly, sir, for guiding this study circle so wonderfully. I also convey my deep appreciation to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Narayan Chandra Ghosh, for his excellent presentation. I would like to thanks to the Joint Secretaries of Universal Briefing, Dr. Ranjan Samanto and Dr. Shopon Khan for their support. I also thank the Chairperson of Study Circle Universal Briefing, Dr. Obhijit, the convener, Mr. Obhijit Noshkar, and today's program facilitator, Jaya Sharma, on behalf of the Universal Briefing Study Circle Committee. And last but not the least, I like to thank all of you for giving us your valuable time. Thank you all. Good night. Thank you.
ওকে, হ্যাঁ, অভিজিৎ লাইভটাকে অফ করো প্লিজ। আমাদের পরের দিনের স্পিকার এসে গেছে। জালালকে আমি দেখলাম। সমীর কোথায় গেল? সমীর এক ঝলক দেখলাম মনে হলো। সমীর
এসেছিল তো?
হ্যাঁ এসেছিল, এক ঝলক দিল। ও সবে ফিরেছে, বেরিয়ে ফিরেছে, আজকেই ল্যান্ড করেছে মানালি থেকে। হ্যাঁ লাইভ অফ করে দাও বললাম তো। আরে আমরা কথা বলছি তো।